Alright, everybody, happy Halloween. It is October 31st, 2023, the end of a month, and we're at precisealgorithmtrading.com. Let's dive right in here to try to make this quick because, trick or treating and all, it's a late night. The the Dow futures. So these are our automated trading systems, and this is the net result of our trading. Literally every one of these little lines or squiggles that's going on here is the result of a trade. So it's a win or a loss, and our ultimate goal is to have an equity curve that goes from uh, lower to higher and make money. This is a little, it doesn't go up in a straight line, but if you look at my weekend reviews, we show the 12 to 15 months, and it's pretty straight line up. I mean, it's not straight, but it's got these few pullbacks in it, and we try to account for that in how we build the algorithms. So, anyways, today, uh, lately we're trying to get back up to this equity peak, and we've obviously had a little bit of pullback, but um, today's trades, the 31st, we only had two trades for a net small loss. Nothing to really. It's nothing. Just noise. The Russell, um, I don't think it's traded since the 27th. So nope. So no change today. The Nasdaq had a little pullback, but then we pulled back up at the end of the day. So it's a net loss of a day, but we had a nice day yesterday. So um, actually, there's two. We had these trades. So that was a max, probably I think hit that 2250 there. And then we had a series of losses that were smaller, but still, we had two winners today, and they took back about half the losses. So, it's just the name of the game, and at the end of the day, we want our equity curve to be going up, and that's what this ultimately does. So, that is the automated trading systems. Um, let's go into the markets, and I did do a little work between last night and today. I've been working on the average or the ATR trailing stop. That's actually an indicator that comes in built into Thinkorswim. It's in a lot of platforms, but and it's pretty cool that it generally holds a trend. So um, I I have adapted it and made it our own, but um, also went in and added um, some other nuances to it as far as painting the bars goes. So, and you'll notice that this goes right along with the MACD Momo down here. When the MACD Momo is um, anything but red under the average true range trailing stop, it'll turn gray. So that tells us, hey, the red's over, which if you notice, that's like downward momentum, and it's over at least temporarily. I don't know. Yeah, there's a case right there where you're under the ATR, and you know the the red's over, but it turns gray instead of green because I think green is misleading. And then you go rise up here, but you're under the ATR, and then it falls. However, it is climbing its way out, and once it climbs out, it turns green. And then even here, where it turned red briefly, it's above the ATR, so I just keep it gray. That way, don't get thrown off by these. Some of these momentum indicators can like literally try to whipsaw you out of a trade, but there's nothing wrong with that trend. And then when it flips back to red, literally the so it's above the ATR trailing stop there, but the MACD um, Momo indicator actually turns red. So it's given a little heads up of, you know, a potential, like, let's get out of the trade instead of waiting around and losing more profit. So over here you can see, or you can set stops, which is kind of what this is when you're in an uptrend above the ATR trailing stop, yet it turns gray because this thing turned red. Well, you can keep a stop underneath here, just and a hard stop at that, underneath these pivots, so that you can, you know, stay in a trade even though it's going sideways. And then you can stay in a trade for if and when it bounces like that. And then when you're at the top, it'll turn gray first before it turns right over, in because the ATR trailing stop flips. So anyways, did that, and I'm going to try it for a while. I think it's pretty good. And you can obviously use it in multi-time frame analysis. So the hourly over here is green, the daily is red, and the weekly is red. And so we can totally play an hourly trade, and if it rolls over and dies, you can just get out, unless it turns into a green trade on the daily, which then you can keep in a trade and stay in a trade until it turns into one that's weekly as well. And if at any time you've got profit and you want to get out, that's what you do. So just a sample system of something that, you know, all these things are trend following systems, that generally speaking, and that's the kind of trading I like to do anyway. So alright, that's enough of that. The S&P went up 0.65% today. The Dow Industrials up another 123 points, which is only 0.38% nowadays, because the Dow is, you know, 33,000. But you can see in a lot of these are indexes, so the hourly is actually kicking up. And yeah, again, like diamonds, you know, you can play the diamonds. It's the Dow. It's the Dow exchange traded fund. So I'm actually waiting for it to pull back a little bit and then possibly get back in a little bit. In the meantime, I'm waiting for some of these indicators in the middle here to reverse. So if this is actually going to be a bottom. Alright, that was the Dow. The Russell is breaking higher on the hourly, but it is lagging the rest of the markets. And the Nasdaq's the real story. It's taken off, and it's still only up 0.48% for the day, so we'll just continue to watch. Oil today continues to fall, and you can see it pretty clearly here on the hourly chart. Certainly on the daily, and the weekly actually just turned from green to gray, which the week's not up yet, so yeah, take that for what it's worth. And then last but not least, let's go over to stockcharts.com and look at the bullish percent indexes. The industrials added O's today, but went up by 25%. So that's an unusual situation that we will have to keep an eye on. I think that's a pretty bullish flip that hasn't really flipped yet, but that's interesting. The NYA up by 1.36%. The transports 3 new O's to the downside and down 0.33%. So the markets are still showing some pretty wide variability here. The NASDAQ up by 0.86%. The SPX up by 10%, 10.17. The OEX up by 8.33%. And the NDX, where are we? Here we are. Minus 3.23%. So, like I say, a little bit of a mixed up market, and we'll keep an eye on it. And we will, what we're really looking for, in case you haven't followed this, is flips back to bullish indications on all of these point and figure bullish percent index charts to start, basically accumulating positions that also are giving technical signals on the regular charts. So that's what we do. Take care, guys. Good trading, and have a great night.